You're watching Biz One-on-One.
Steve Harvey is the founder and CEO of Business Finders Canada, which is a commercial brokerage for buying and selling businesses that's rolling out right across the country right now. We're going to find out the top 5 myths. Steve is going to share with us the top 5 myths about buying and selling a business. Steve, welcome to Biz One-on-One. And you're quite a character. You've got quite an interesting background yourself and being involved with a number of different businesses, including your own airline in your early 20s, I think
Yep.
it was. So I'd like to talk about your business from a perspective of growing your own business. You're about to franchise, you're in the process of franchising Business Finders Canada right out across the country. Tell us about how that came about.
Well, Business Finders Canada came about in an idea that I had back in about 2007, and then it actually conceptualized, and we had our first office open up in 2009, and that was me, just by myself.
So you were basically the proverbial one-man show, and now it's grown into a company that is expanding across the country. You were at that time the go-to guy. If I have a business, I'm thinking I want to get out, or if I'm a person that's thinking I want to buy a business. So you're the person that brings it all together. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so we put the buyer and the seller together. As far as we know, there's not another company that does what we do at the level that we do it at, and we didn't get there overnight. It's been 7 years now of learning, going through mistakes, understanding how to work with a buyer, understanding how to work with a seller. Buyers, have their own ideas when they come, when they come to the table. A lot of times they inquire about a business, and it's actually not a fit for them. So we actually move them into something else. And with the seller, we work with a seller who has an idea of what they think their business is worth, and we take them through the process of evaluation and help them understand, here's what their company is worth and what we can do with it.
I mean, just like someone's house, you kind of have to fix it up and prepare it for sale. Same thing with a business. You got to get the financials in order to be presentable to not only the buyer, but the buyer's bank and the buyer's financer.
Yeah, very, very important to prepare your business for sale, and there's a whole bunch of aspects around that. So we talk about obviously preparing your financial statements, providing what's called interim profit and loss statements, creating an asset list. If you've got employee contracts, if you're into franchising, we need to have a look at your franchise agreement. If there's transfer fees involved, a copy of your lease. A lease is super key when you're buying a business. Maybe you own the property, then we need to see the assessments or appraisals on the property.
So your type of business, a business brokerage, is actually quite advanced, for example, in the US and other parts of the world, Europe. It's amazing that there's so few business brokerages, or you're saying none, that do it to the level that you do in Canada. So there's the opportunity. 89% of companies are in this small, medium-sized space, and you provide that service. So it's time to roll it out across Canada. How are you doing it?
Well, here's a stat. The average baby boomer right now, or the baby boomers are between 52 years of age to 70. Okay, so they're the majority owners of these businesses.
Right.
So these business owners over the next 5 years, so at any given time, about 18% of businesses are for sale in the market.
Wow.
Okay.
And in most cases, they're not even using a business brokerage.
Right. Well, 80% of businesses that are on the market for sale don't sell.
Right.
So you've got a large portion of people that are going to have to sell their business, pass it down to a family member, sell it to a partner, or just blow away in the wind. So if they're not prepared, what's going to happen to their business? So 42% of businesses over the next 5 years are expected to come onto the market. And over the next 10 years, strictly due to baby boomers, we're talking 70% of all businesses in all sectors.
70% of businesses are going to change hands in the next 10 years. What a huge business opportunity for you.
Absolutely. So Business Finders Canada has developed systems, proper opportunities. We've fine-tuned everything over the last number of years. And so we're just getting ready to launch across Western Canada and into Eastern Canada.
So someone can actually become a franchisee and learn how to do what you're doing and become a broker of businesses. What type of person would that be?
So we're looking for people that have actually been through the process. Generally, we're looking for people that have either owned a business, have sold a business, have bought a business, maybe currently own a business themselves now, so they can really understand. And then we train them, then you need to go to school and get your real estate license, because we all are commercial realtors in what we do, because there's buildings are involved, and in most provinces, a lease is considered real estate.
So if you want to be a broker and help someone buy and sell businesses, first step, you got to be a commercial real estate broker in most provinces. That's how it works?
Right. So we like that idea, but we like the idea that a person has some sort of entrepreneurial skills first. Mm-hmm. We're looking for someone who already understands business transactions, and then we send them to school, and go get your commercial real estate license, and that's how we can bring you into the company.
So let's talk about what we promised to share with our viewers, the top 5 myths about buying and selling a business.
Sure. Yep. So there's a lot of myths out there. You can go online and read about all kinds of things about selling businesses, but the number one reason is my company's ready to sell. But if you haven't prepared your business, if you haven't gone through your financials, your business isn't ready to sell. Just
because your business is going along fine, it doesn't mean to say it's easy to sell.
That's right. Yeah. The second myth is I've got a lot of time. Well, 10 years can go by very, very quickly in a business. And again, if things happen.
So in other words, I'm in my early 60s. I don't need to think about this for another 2-3 years. Whereas you're saying maybe there's some work to do in advance of setting yourself up so you get the most value for your business.
That's right. And businesses don't generally sell overnight. Sure, some can sell quickly. But on average, the average business takes somewhere, a small business takes somewhere between 7 to 9 months to sell, and a larger business can take 12 to 24 months. So you've got to start preparing, we like to see at least 2 years before that. I can sell my business myself.
That's a myth.
That's a myth. Again, only 20% of businesses out there that are up for sale actually sell.
And then oftentimes they don't get the kind of value that they could have gotten with a little bit of help.
That's right. Super important to understand the valuation part of it. How you're going to take yourself out of your business and deal with all the unqualified buyers. We've seen business owners try to sell their business and they get caught up in with a buyer that's not financially qualified or qualified at all, and it strings them. They get strung along for 6, 7, 8 months before they realize that this person can't buy the business.
Right. It's a little more complex than a basic real estate transaction. So I think you've said 3 myths. 2 more.
Yeah, 2 more. I'll get the asking price I'm asking. So there's negotiation involved, and the price for your business. Generally, what we see out there, of course, every once in a while you can get exactly what you're asking, but you need to be prepared to get somewhere around 90% of your asking value, because people are looking to negotiate.
Yeah.
And then the buyer's financing is not my problem as a seller.
Oh yeah.
Right?
I can understand that. Yeah. But if you eliminate, if you have your business for sale and you're only interested in the people who can write you a check out of their own cash, you're very much limiting your prospective customers.
Yeah, a lot smaller portion, and even people that do have the money, they like to sometimes keep the owner involved or do what's called some vendor take-back financing, just so that they can keep that person engaged until the proper transition happens to that new owner.
I mean, you even say the word vendor take-back, EBITDA, these terms that are used in the business of selling businesses. Hey, just because I own a business doesn't mean I have a clue of what vendor take-back is. And that is exactly why someone that's selling a business or buying a business would want to talk to a business broker.
You're 100% correct, because the bank is looking for generally someone to help with the process. And that vendor take-back financing, it just means that the owner is going to hold some of the money, through the transition or even over a period of time until that new owner takes full control of that business.
Steve Harvey, making a difference for all these thousands of people across the country that are going to be involved in buying and selling businesses over the next few years. Congratulations, Steve. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
You're watching Biz One-on-One.